My beloved child, pause your breath for a moment and allow your spirit to settle. This is not an ordinary message, and this is not arriving by accident. January 7th carries a quiet but powerful weight, and Archangel Michael is stepping close to you now with reassurance, not urgency, with clarity, not confusion. What you have been sensing lately, the repeated thoughts, the subtle signs, the moments that made you stop and wonder, none of that was random. This message is opening now because your spirit is ready to understand without fear. Listen carefully. There has been a gentle pressure around your mind recently. Not chaos, not noise, but a buildup, like fog slowly thinning before sunrise. You may have felt unsure why certain memories returned, why certain names crossed your mind again, or why familiar symbols appeared in unexpected places. Archangel Michael says this is not something to rush through. Clarity does not always arrive like lightning. Sometimes it forms like dawn, slowly revealing what was already there. You are not behind. Let that truth sink deep into your heart. You have not missed your moment. The reassurance coming to you now is meant to calm the part of you that has been questioning timing, decisions, and direction. Michael's presence brings a steady hand to your thoughts, aligning scattered pieces into something that finally begins to make sense. You are allowed to breathe again. There is something important about the way your thoughts have been circling lately. You may have noticed patterns, repeated ideas, similar emotions returning, or a quiet inner nudge that said, "Pay attention to this." These were not distractions. These were gentle signals preparing you for understanding. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, sword lowered, shield steady, saying, "You are safe to reflect. You are safe to look back without regret." This message is not asking you to act immediately. It is asking you to notice. Notice what feels lighter today than it did before. Notice how certain worries no longer grip you the same way. Notice how confusion is slowly losing its power. January 7th marks a turning point, not because everything changes at once, but because you begin to see differently. You may have been carrying unanswered questions about relationships, choices, or a path you almost took. Michael says clarity does not come by force. It comes by alignment. What is aligning now is your inner voice with divine reassurance. That's why this moment feels calm, even if you don't fully understand it yet. Calm is a sign that protection is active. Pay attention to how your body feels as you listen. That sense of grounding, that subtle release in your chest, that is not imagination. That is reassurance settling in. Archangel Michael's energy does not rush. It stabilizes. It clears mental noise so truth can rise without effort. There is also something else forming, an understanding that will soon connect dots from your recent past. You may suddenly realize why delays happened, why silence was necessary, or why certain doors did not open when you wanted them to. This realization will not feel painful. It will feel right. Like reading the final line of a chapter and finally understanding the whole story. Do not pressure yourself to define everything today. Reflection is sacred when it is gentle. Michael reminds you that clarity unfolds best when the heart is calm. If you feel drawn to sit quietly, journal, or simply observe your thoughts without judgment, follow that instinct. That is where reassurance deepens. Some of you have been asking for a sign without even realizing it. This message itself is confirmation that you are guided, protected, and not alone in your thoughts. The signs you noticed were breadcrumbs leading here, not to an answer you must chase, but to a peace you are meant to receive. Let me tell you something important. Clarity forming does not mean you must change everything. Sometimes clarity simply means you finally trust yourself again. Archangel Michael is restoring that trust now. You are remembering your inner strength, your discernment, your ability to move forward without fear of making the wrong choice. As this reassurance settles, allow yourself to slow down. There is no rush attached to divine timing. January 7th is not a deadline. It is a doorway into calm understanding, into mental order, into quiet confidence. Walk through it gently. Stay present with this feeling. There is more unfolding, and what comes next will connect even deeper pieces together. My precious one, as this calm settles deeper within you, Archangel Michael draws your attention to something subtle yet powerful. What you are experiencing right now is not just reassurance. It is alignment beginning to lock into place. The clarity forming around you is not loud, but it is steady, and that steadiness is what makes it real. You may notice that your thoughts are no longer racing the way they used to. Instead, they pause, hover, and gently arrange themselves, almost as if someone is helping you organize what once felt scattered. There is a reason your spirit feels slightly more grounded today. Michael is reinforcing your inner foundation, strengthening the part of you that knows when to wait and when to move. This reassurance is arriving before answers on purpose. When reassurance comes first, answers do not shake you. They support you. That is why you are being invited to reflect without rushing. Reflection is not delay. It is preparation. You might be realizing now that some of your recent worries were never meant to follow you into this next phase. They belonged to a version of you that was still learning to trust guidance. Archangel Michael reminds you that wisdom often looks like calm. If something no longer triggers panic the way it once did, that is proof that healing has already begun. Think back to the signs that caught your attention over the past few days. A phrase you heard twice, a number that repeated, a sudden memory that resurfaced without explanation. These were not meant to confuse you. They were gentle taps on the shoulder, saying, "You are close to understanding." Clarity rarely arrives alone. It brings peace with it. If peace is present, you are on the right path. Michael is also asking you to release the pressure of needing immediate confirmation from the outside world. Some clarity is internal before it ever becomes visible externally. What shifts inside you first eventually rearranges circumstances around you. Trust the process unfolding within you now. It is working quietly but effectively. There is protection surrounding your thoughts at this moment. That is why fear feels muted. That is why doubt does not carry the same weight. This is Archangel Michael standing guard, ensuring that as clarity forms, confusion does not re-enter. You are being given mental space to think clearly, to feel deeply, and to sense truth without interference. If this message is resonating with you, take a moment to engage with it. Like this video to anchor this reassurance into your awareness. Share it with someone who may also be waiting for clarity to form gently. Leave a comment describing what signs or thoughts have been connecting for you lately. Your words may help someone else realize they are not alone. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel so you remain connected to messages that bring calm, strength, and divine reassurance. This space is being built for souls just like yours. Michael's energy is not dramatic. It is dependable. That is why it feels familiar, almost like remembering something you already knew. You are remembering your ability to discern truth without anxiety. You are remembering that guidance does not rush you, it walks beside you. As this understanding grows, you may notice an urge to slow your decisions slightly. That urge is wisdom, not hesitation. Reflection is where clarity sharpens. Michael assures you that nothing meant for you will be lost by patience. In fact, patience is what keeps it intact. Your recent thoughts are beginning to connect because you are ready to see the pattern without emotional overwhelm. What once felt confusing now feels like pieces of a puzzle finally fitting together. You don't have to force the picture. It is revealing itself naturally. Stay open but stay calm. This balance is important. Overthinking blocks clarity, but awareness invites it. Archangel Michael is helping you stay right in that balanced space where understanding flows easily. If you feel drawn to return to this message later, that is intentional. Each time you listen, something new may settle into place. Before you move on, allow this reassurance to anchor itself deeply. Trust me, what unfolds next will make even more sense, and you'll be glad you stayed with this moment a little longer. My beloved soul, now that reassurance has begun to settle, Archangel Michael invites you into a deeper layer of understanding. This is the place where clarity stops being just a feeling and starts becoming wisdom. You may sense it as a quiet knowing, a gentle certainty that does not need proof or explanation. This is where confusion loosens its grip completely, because truth no longer feels threatening, it feels familiar. There is something important Michael wants you to recognize. The clarity forming right now is not only about the present moment, it is also about reframing the past. Certain memories may be surfacing again, but this time without pain. You are not reliving them, you are reinterpreting them. This is a sign of healing. When a memory can be observed without emotional weight, it means its lesson has been integrated. You are beginning to see why certain events unfolded the way they did. Not with regret, not with blame, but with compassion for yourself. Archangel Michael says this compassion is key. Without it, clarity becomes harsh. With it, clarity becomes liberating. You are learning to view your journey as guided rather than flawed. Pay attention to the subtle confidence growing inside you. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It simply exists. Its confidence comes from alignment, your thoughts, your emotions, and your spirit slowly coming into agreement. That inner agreement is what allows peace to remain even when answers are still forming. Michael also wants you to release the idea that clarity must arrive all at once. Some truths are revealed in layers to protect your heart. What you are receiving now is exactly what you can carry with strength and grace. More will come, but only when it can be held without burden. You may notice a shift in how you react to uncertainty. Instead of fear, there is curiosity. Instead of tension, there is patience. This is not accidental. This is a sign that your inner foundation has stabilized. Archangel Michael has been reinforcing this foundation quietly, ensuring that when clarity fully arrives, it does not shake you. It steadies you. There is also a message here about trust. Trust does not mean having all the answers. It means believing that answers will arrive at the right pace. You are being taught to trust divine timing not because you are powerless, but because you are protected. Protection allows patience. Let this moment be gentle. Reflection does not require judgment. If you find yourself revisiting choices you made, do so with kindness. Every decision you made was based on the awareness you had at that time. Michael reminds you that growth never invalidates the past. It builds upon it. As January 7th energy continues to unfold, you may feel drawn to simplify. Simplify thoughts, simplify plans, simplify expectations. Clarity thrives in simplicity. When noise fades, truth speaks clearly. You do not need to chase meaning, it is meeting you where you are. Now receive this blessing intentionally. This is not just information, it is activation. Type "I receive divine clarity" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Lesson Code 444 has just been released. And before this moment closes, hear this clearly. What you are receiving here is not meant to stay with you alone. Light multiplies when it is shared. When you support this mission, you are not supporting a channel. You are helping reassurance reach a soul that is still shaking, clarity reach a mind still overwhelmed, and peace reach a heart that has been praying quietly. I am speaking to you directly now. This is your moment to sow into the work that God is doing through these messages. Scripture says the one who sows generously will reap generously, and this is not about money. It is about obedience and impact. Every seed you plant through Super Thanks, channel membership, or PayPal donation becomes oil for the lamp, light for someone walking in uncertainty. Do not hesitate if you feel the nudge. This is not pressure. This is alignment. Your support opens doors, extends reach, and allows this message to travel where it is urgently needed. I speak blessing over every giver now. May clarity increase, peace multiply, and divine favor surround every area of your life. Take action now. Release your seed with faith. The PayPal donation link is waiting in the description, and heaven is watching your obedience. Beloved one, as you move deeper into this space of calm awareness, Archangel Michael gently shifts your attention from understanding to integration. Clarity is not meant to remain an idea in your mind. It is meant to settle into your daily life, shaping how you respond, how you choose, and how you move forward. This is where reassurance becomes strength. You may notice that your reactions are changing before you consciously decide to change them. That is integration happening naturally. There is a subtle transformation taking place within you. Situations that once drained your energy no longer hold the same power. Conversations that used to leave you confused now feel easier to navigate. This is not because the world around you has suddenly changed, but because your inner alignment has. Archangel Michael reminds you that when your inner world shifts, the outer world responds in time. You are also being invited to release the need to explain your clarity to others. Not everyone needs to understand what you now see. Some clarity is personal, sacred, and meant only for you. Michael's protection extends to your peace, ensuring that your understanding is not diluted by outside opinions or unnecessary validation. You are allowed to keep certain realizations close to your heart. There may be moments when old habits try to resurface, doubting yourself, second-guessing decisions, or replaying past conversations. When this happens, do not judge yourself. Simply notice how quickly those habits fade now. That quick fading is evidence of growth. Archangel Michael is helping you recognize progress without attaching guilt to where you once were. Another layer of clarity forming now involves boundaries. You are becoming more aware of what deserves your attention and what does not. This awareness is not harsh. It is respectful to yourself and to others. When you honor your limits, you honor divine guidance working through you. Michael encourages you to trust this discernment. It is a sign of maturity, not selfishness. You might also feel a quiet pull toward things that nourish you: silence, creativity, prayer, rest, or meaningful connection. These pulls are not distractions from your path. They are part of it. Clarity thrives in environments where the soul feels safe. Archangel Michael is guiding you toward spaces, both internal and external, where your spirit can breathe freely. There is reassurance here about timing once again. You do not need to hurry into the next chapter. The clarity you are receiving will naturally lead you forward when the moment is right. For now, your role is to remain aware, present, and gentle with yourself. Growth does not always look like action. Sometimes it looks like stillness. You may begin to sense a deeper trust in your intuition. That quiet inner voice that once felt uncertain is now steadier. Michael is reinforcing this connection, reminding you that intuition strengthens with use. Each time you honor it, it becomes clearer. Each time you ignore it, it grows quieter. Choose to listen without fear. Notice how your body responds when you align with truth. There is ease, not tension. There is calm, not resistance. Your body is an instrument of discernment, and Archangel Michael is helping you read its signals accurately. When something feels heavy, pause. When something feels light, proceed gently. This phase is also about acceptance. Accepting that clarity does not erase complexity, but it gives you the confidence to navigate it. Accepting that not all answers are needed immediately. Accepting that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Michael assures you that acceptance is not resignation. It is strength rooted in trust. As you continue reflecting, you may realize that reassurance has been present all along, waiting for you to slow down enough to notice it. That realization itself is healing. It means you are no longer searching desperately for signs. You are recognizing them naturally. Stay with this awareness. Let it become familiar. Let it guide small choices, daily interactions, and inner dialogue. You are not being asked to transform overnight. You are being invited to remain connected to this clarity as it deepens. What unfolds next will build upon this foundation. And because this foundation is steady, what comes will not overwhelm you. It will meet you where you are with the same calm assurance that has carried you this far. My cherished one, Archangel Michael draws even closer now, not to introduce something new, but to deepen what has already begun. This stage is about embodiment, allowing clarity to live inside you rather than visiting you briefly. You may notice that reassurance no longer feels like a momentary comfort, but like a quiet companion walking with you through ordinary moments. This is how divine guidance becomes sustainable. There is a gentle recalibration happening within your emotional world. Feelings that once rose sharply now rise softly and pass without leaving marks. This does not mean you care less. It means you are learning how to feel without being consumed. Michael reminds you that emotional balance is a sign of spiritual strength. You are not suppressing emotions. You are mastering how to hold them with grace. You may also be noticing a change in how you interpret silence. Silence no longer feels empty or concerning. Instead, it feels informative. In the quiet, you sense direction forming. This is important. Archangel Michael often works in silence because silence removes distortion. When noise fades, truth speaks clearly. Do not rush to fill quiet moments. They are working in your favor. Another aspect of clarity emerging now involves self-permission. You are allowing yourself to evolve without apology. Old expectations, your own or others, are losing their authority over you. This release is not rebellion. It is alignment. Michael assures you that honoring who you are becoming does not dishonor who you were. It completes the journey. You may find yourself less interested in proving anything. The need to justify your choices, explain your growth, or defend your boundaries is dissolving. This is a powerful sign. When clarity is internalized, validation becomes optional. You know what feels right, and that knowing is enough. Pay attention to how your energy responds to different environments now. Certain places, conversations, or routines may feel heavier than before. This is not a setback. It is refinement. Archangel Michael is sharpening your discernment so you can choose what supports your peace. When something no longer aligns, your body will tell you first. Listen to it. There is also reassurance here about rest. You are allowed to pause without losing momentum. In fact, Rest is part of your progress. Michael emphasizes that clarity stabilizes best when the nervous system feels safe. If you feel drawn to slow down, honor that instinct. You are not falling behind. You are integrating. This phase may bring moments of deep gratitude without an obvious cause. A quiet appreciation for where you are, even if everything is not resolved yet. That gratitude is a sign of presence. You are no longer living only for the next answer. You are appreciating the understanding already gained. This mindset attracts further clarity naturally. You may also notice that your prayers are changing. They feel less desperate and more conversational. Instead of asking urgently for direction, you are listening. This shift matters. Archangel Michael responds powerfully when prayer becomes partnership rather than plea. You are learning to walk with guidance, not chase it. Old fears may attempt to resurface briefly, especially those tied to uncertainty or past disappointments. When they do, observe how quickly reassurance returns. That reassurance is no longer external. It rises from within you. Michael has helped install this inner anchor so that fear cannot linger without being challenged by truth. Let yourself trust this process fully. You do not need to manage it or control it. Clarity is unfolding organically because you have created the conditions for it. Patience, reflection, openness. These qualities are spiritual invitations, and they have been answered. As you continue forward, remember that clarity does not always change circumstances immediately. Sometimes it changes how you stand within them. That change alone alters outcomes over time. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing you are gaining now will be wasted. Every insight, every calm realization, every softened reaction is shaping a stronger future. Remain gentle with yourself. Speak kindly to your own thoughts. Choose peace when possible, and pause when needed. You are not drifting. You are being guided with precision and care. What is coming next will feel even more grounded, even more certain, because it is being built on this stable inner clarity. Stay open, stay present, and allow this reassurance to continue weaving itself into who you are becoming. My dear one, Archangel Michael now turns your awareness toward how this clarity expresses itself in the real world around you. Until now, much of what you have been receiving has been internal. Shifts in perception, emotional balance, and inner calm. This stage is about noticing how those inner changes begin to influence your outer experiences in subtle but unmistakable ways. You may realize that situations are responding differently to you, not because they have changed, but because you have. There is a quiet authority forming in you. Not dominance, not control, but a steady sense of self that does not waver easily. When clarity settles deeply, it gives birth to this kind of authority. You speak with more intention. You listen without urgency. You act without over-explaining. Archangel Michael is strengthening this presence so that you no longer feel pulled in multiple directions by external demands. You might notice that decisions feel simpler now. Not necessarily easier, but clearer. Options that once felt equally confusing now have different weights. One feels aligned, the other feels heavy. This is discernment refining itself. Michael reminds you that discernment is not about choosing what looks best on the surface. It is about choosing what brings peace after the decision is made. There is also a shift happening in how you relate to time. You may feel less rushed, even when responsibilities remain. This is important. When urgency fades, wisdom has room to operate. Archangel Michael is helping you step out of reactive time and into intentional time. In this space, you are less likely to make choices driven by fear or pressure. You are also becoming more selective with your energy. This selectiveness is not withdrawal, It is stewardship. You are learning where your presence is needed and where it is being drained unnecessarily. Michael encourages you to honor this awareness. When you protect your energy, you protect your clarity. Old patterns of overthinking may try to reappear occasionally, especially during moments of uncertainty. When this happens, notice how quickly you catch yourself now. That pause, that moment of awareness before spiraling, is a victory. It means clarity is active, not passive. You are no longer lost inside your thoughts. You are observing them. As this message reaches you, allow yourself to anchor it by engaging with it. Like this video as a way of saying yes to the reassurance you are receiving. Share it with someone who may be quietly seeking clarity but hasn't found the words yet. Leave a comment expressing what has shifted for you recently. Your reflection may become confirmation for another soul. And if you feel called, subscribe to this channel so you remain connected to messages that strengthen discernment, peace, and inner alignment. Archangel Michael also wants you to notice how your expectations are changing. You are no longer demanding certainty from life before moving forward. Instead, you are trusting yourself to adapt as clarity unfolds. This flexibility is strength. It allows guidance to flow without resistance. There is reassurance here about mistakes. You are less afraid of making them now because you trust your ability to correct course. A trust is essential. Michael reminds you that divine guidance does not require perfection. It responds to sincerity. When your intention is aligned, even detours are redirected for growth. You may also find that your compassion for others is deepening without costing you your peace. You can understand someone's struggle without absorbing it. This balance is a sign of maturity. Archangel Michael is teaching you how to be present without being overwhelmed, supportive without self-sacrifice. This phase may bring moments where you feel called to speak up or to remain silent with equal confidence. Both can be acts of clarity. The key difference now is that you are choosing consciously rather than reacting emotionally. A choice point is where wisdom lies. As you continue listening, stay with this message a little longer. What is coming next will connect everything you have sensed so far into a more complete understanding. Trust me, the way these pieces come together may surprise you, and you'll want to be fully present for it. Beloved soul, Archangel Michael now invites you into a moment of deeper recognition. What has been forming quietly within you is no longer just clarity. It is self-trust awakening. This is significant. Clarity shows you what is true, but self-trust gives you the courage to live by it. You may feel this as a calm resolve, a steady inner agreement that no longer seeks permission from fear or approval from others. There is a subtle shift happening in how you perceive yourself. You are no longer viewing your journey as something that needs fixing. Instead, you are beginning to see it as something that has been refining you all along. Michael wants you to understand that nothing about your path was wasted. Even the moments that felt confusing or delayed were shaping discernment you could not have gained any other way. You may notice that your inner dialogue has softened. The harsh questioning, the self-doubt disguised as responsibility, the mental rehearsals of what could go wrong, these are losing their intensity. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means your response to them is evolving. Archangel Michael is helping you meet life with steadiness rather than defensiveness. This phase brings a deeper understanding of responsibility, not as burden, but as choice. You are recognizing where your responsibility truly lies and where it does not. You are no longer carrying emotional weights that were never yours to begin with. This release creates space, and in that space, clarity breathes freely. There is also an invitation here to honor your pace. You are learning that moving slowly does not mean lacking faith. Sometimes it means you trust guidance enough not to rush ahead of it. Michael affirms that patience, when paired with awareness, is one of the highest forms of wisdom. You are embodying that now. Pay attention to how your confidence feels different from before. It is not driven by outcome. It is rooted in presence. You trust yourself to respond wisely, even if circumstances change. This kind of confidence is unshakable because it does not depend on control. Archangel Michael is reinforcing this inner stability so that external uncertainty cannot unsettle you. You may also feel a growing clarity around your values. What truly matters to you is becoming clearer, and what does not align is quietly falling away. This is not loss. It is refinement. When clarity deepens, distractions naturally lose their appeal. Michael reassures you that this process is gentle and protective, not restrictive. There may be moments when you reflect on how much has changed internally compared to how little has changed externally. Do not let this discourage you. Inner shifts always precede outer movement. What is stabilizing within you now is preparing the ground for visible change later. Archangel Michael works in layers, ensuring foundations are strong before structures rise. Another sign of this stage is how you handle uncertainty. Instead of trying to eliminate it, you coexist with it calmly. You understand that not knowing everything does not mean you are unsafe. This understanding is powerful. It frees your mind from unnecessary vigilance and allows intuition to guide you naturally. You may also notice a renewed sense of respect for yourself. Not pride, but quiet appreciation. You acknowledge the resilience it took to arrive here. You recognize the courage it took to pause, reflect, and allow clarity to form rather than forcing answers. Michael honors this within you, and that honor is reflected back as peace. As this message continues, let it affirm something important. You are no longer seeking clarity from a place of fear. You are receiving it from a place of readiness. A difference changes everything. Clarity received in fear overwhelms. Clarity received in readiness empowers. Stay attentive to your inner signals over the coming days. They will be subtle but consistent. A sense of ease when something aligns. A gentle resistance when it does not. These signals are not random. They are the language of discernment. Archangel Michael is helping you become fluent in it. You are standing at a point where understanding, trust, and calm are converging. This convergence is not loud, but it is transformative. Allow it to continue without interruption. You do not need to announce it, prove it, or rush it. Simply live from it. What unfolds next will bring an even deeper sense of meaning to what you have already experienced. And when that understanding arrives, it will feel natural, like remembering something you always knew. Stay open. Stay present. The path ahead is becoming clear in ways that will soon feel unmistakable. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now asks you to pause again, not to stop moving forward, but to recognize how far your inner awareness has already come. This moment is about acknowledgement. When clarity deepens, it often goes unnoticed because it feels natural, almost ordinary. Yet what feels ordinary now would have felt impossible to you not long ago. That is growth revealing itself quietly. You are beginning to live from understanding rather than reaction. This is a profound shift. Situations that once triggered immediate emotional responses now invite discernment first. You are no longer pulled into every wave that passes by. Instead, you are standing on steadier ground, observing before engaging. Michael wants you to know that this steadiness is not accidental. It is cultivated through every moment you chose reflection over panic. There is a deep reassurance settling around your identity. You are no longer defining yourself by what you are still figuring out. You are recognizing yourself through what you already know, what you already feel aligned with, and what you no longer tolerate. The self-definition brings peace because it is internally sourced. Archangel Michael affirms that when identity stabilizes, confusion loses its influence. You may notice that clarity now comes with compassion for yourself and for others. You can see where people act from fear without absorbing that fear. You can recognize patterns without judging them. This ability is a sign of emotional maturity. Michael stands beside you, reminding you that compassion without self-betrayal is strength, not weakness. Another layer unfolding now is forgiveness, not necessarily of others, but of yourself. Forgiveness for moments you wish you had understood sooner. Forgiveness for times you doubted your own instincts. This self-forgiveness is releasing a weight you may not have realized you were carrying. When that weight lifts, clarity feels lighter, freer, and more sustainable. You are also becoming more present in your daily life. Moments feel sharper, more real. You notice small details, subtle feeling, and quiet joys. This presence is not distraction. It is alignment. Archangel Michael often works through presence because it anchors divine awareness into the physical world. When you are present, guidance becomes practical. There may be an emerging desire to live more intentionally, to choose words carefully, to honor your time, to invest energy where it truly matters. This desire is clarity expressing itself as wisdom. Michael encourages you to honor this inclination without guilt. Intentional living is not restrictive, it is liberating. You might also sense a quiet confidence about the future. Not certainty about every outcome, but confidence that you will know how to respond when the time comes. This trust in your future self is powerful. It removes the need to control what has not yet arrived. Archangel Michael assures you that this trust is well placed. As you sit with this message, allow it to settle fully. Let it affirm that you are not waiting for clarity anymore, you are living within it. That shift changes how everything unfolds from here. Type "I walk in divine understanding" in the comments if this message aligns with your spirit. Blessing code 888 has just been released. And hear this carefully. What has been forming within you is not meant to stop with you. Light that is not shared eventually dims, but light that is released multiplies. This message exists because someone chose to sow into it before you ever heard it. I am speaking to you directly now. If your heart feels stirred, this is your invitation to respond. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, channel membership, or PayPal donation, you are not funding content, you are fueling transformation. Scripture declares that those who water others will themselves be watered, and this is that moment of obedience. Your seed becomes a voice for someone who feels unheard. It becomes clarity for someone still trapped in confusion. It becomes reassurance for a soul that has been praying quietly at night. I speak blessing over every giver now. May your discernment sharpen, your peace deepen, and your steps be guided with precision. Do not delay if you feel the nudge. Act while alignment is present. The PayPal donation link is waiting in the description. Release your seed now and become part of what God is unfolding through this message. My dear one, Archangel Michael now draws your attention to the quiet confidence that has begun to shape your daily rhythm. This confidence is not loud or demanding. It moves gently, almost unnoticed. Yet it influences everything you touch. You may realize that you are no longer seeking reassurance as often as before. Not because you don't value guidance, but because guidance has become integrated into how you think, feel, and choose. This stage is about embodiment in motion. You are living from clarity rather than thinking about it. Your responses are slower, but more accurate. Your words carry intention instead of impulse. This is a powerful shift. Michael wants you to understand that this is how spiritual alignment expresses itself in real life, not through dramatic moments, but through consistent wisdom. There is also a new relationship forming between you and uncertainty. You are no longer trying to eliminate it. You are learning to walk alongside it without fear. This does not mean you lack direction. It means you trust your capacity to navigate what unfolds. Archangel Michael affirms that this trust is earned. You earn it through reflection, patience, and the courage to sit with unanswered questions. You may notice that certain desires are becoming clear while others are quietly dissolving. This is not loss. It is refinement. As clarity deepens, what no longer aligns naturally falls away. You are not forcing yourself to change preferences or priorities. They are shifting on their own. Michael reassures you that what remains is what truly belongs with you. Another sign of this phase is how you handle emotional triggers. When something touches an old wound, you notice it without being overtaken by it. You respond from awareness rather than reaction. This is emotional mastery developing gently. It does not mean wounds never surface. It means they no longer control your direction. There is also an increasing sense of self-respect for me. You honor your needs without guilt. You listen to your limits without explanation. This self-respect is not isolation. It is integrity. Archangel Michael stands with you in this, reminding you that honoring yourself is a form of honoring divine guidance within you. You may find yourself more selective with conversations, environments, and commitments. This selectiveness is not avoidance. It is clarity protecting itself. When your inner world becomes peaceful, you naturally guard it. Michael encourages you to trust this instinct. Peace is not fragile. It is valuable. This stage also brings a deeper understanding of timing. You are no longer anxious about when things will happen. You are focused on how you are becoming. This shift is subtle but profound. When becoming matters more than arriving, pressure dissolves. Archangel Michael assures you that arrival happens naturally when becoming is complete. There may be moments when you reflect on your past self and feel gratitude rather than regret. Gratitude for surviving confusion. Gratitude for learning through uncertainty. Gratitude for choosing reflection instead of resistance. This gratitude anchors clarity even deeper, because it honors the journey, not just the destination. You might also sense a growing ease in making small decisions. What to say yes to, what to step away from, where to invest your time. These decisions no longer feel heavy because they are guided by alignment, not fear. Michael reminds you that wisdom is often revealed in small, consistent choices. As this message continues, allow yourself to recognize something important. You are no longer waiting for permission to trust yourself. That permission has already been granted internally. This internal authority is quiet, but it is firm. It does not argue, it knows. There is also reassurance here about the future. Not reassurance that everything will be predictable, but reassurance that you will remain grounded no matter how circumstances shift. This grounding is your anchor. Archangel Michael has helped you build it intentionally so that external change cannot destabilize your inner clarity. You are entering a phase where clarity sustains itself through practice. Each time you pause before reacting, each time you listen inwardly, each time you choose calm over chaos, clarity strengthens. It becomes a habit, a way of being, rather than a momentary insight. Stay attentive to this process, not with effort, but with presence. You do not need to monitor it constantly. Simply live from what you now understand. Let your actions reflect your awareness. Let your pace reflect your trust. What unfolds next will invite you to anchor this clarity even more firmly into your daily life, in ways that feel practical, grounded, and empowering. Remain open. Remain steady. You are exactly where you need to be, and what is forming now is preparing you for what is about to align. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now brings your awareness to how deeply this clarity has rooted itself into your everyday choices. What once required effort now feels natural. You are no longer consciously reminding yourself to stay calm, grounded, or discerning. It happens instinctively. This is how alignment matures. It stops feeling like something you practice and starts feeling like who you are. You may notice that your mornings feel different. Even when challenges await you, there is less resistance inside. Your mind no longer rushes ahead trying to solve everything at once. Instead, it meets the day step by step. Michael wants you to recognize this as progress. Peace is not the absence of responsibility. It is the absence of unnecessary inner conflict. There is a stronger sense of personal authority within you now. Not authority over others, but authority over your own reactions. You decide what deserves your emotional investment and what does not. This discernment is protecting your energy more effectively than any external boundary ever could. Archangel Michael stands beside you, affirming that this is what inner strength looks like when it is healthy. You might be realizing that clarity has changed how you listen. You hear what is being said, but you also sense what is not. This awareness allows you to respond wisely without confrontation or avoidance. You no longer feel the need to correct, convince, or control. You understand that clarity does not need to prove itself. It simply guides. There is also a noticeable shift in how you experience waiting. Waiting no longer feels like stagnation. It feels purposeful. You trust that if something has not moved yet, it is because there is still something aligning beneath the surface. Michael reminds you that divine timing is not slow. It is precise. Old anxieties about making the wrong choice are fading. You trust that even if a decision requires adjustment later, you will recognize it quickly and respond wisely. This trust in your ability to adapt is freeing. It removes the pressure of perfection and replaces it with confidence rooted in awareness. You may also feel less attached to outcomes. You still care, but you are not gripping tightly. This loosened grip allows life to flow more naturally. Archangel Michael encourages you to maintain this balance. Detachment does not mean disinterest. It means trusting the process beyond your control. As this message reaches you, let yourself engage with it intentionally. Like this video to affirm the clarity you are walking in. Share it with someone who may still be struggling to trust their inner guidance. Leave a comment describing how your perspective has shifted recently. Your words may be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you have not yet done so, subscribe to this channel so you remain connected to messages that support discernment, peace, and steady spiritual growth. There is something else important unfolding now. You are beginning to recognize when to act and when to wait without second-guessing yourself. This timing awareness is crucial. Many people mistake stillness for inaction, but you understand now that stillness can be strategic. Michael assures you that knowing when not to move is just as powerful as knowing when to move. Your emotional landscape feels more spacious. You have room to feel without drowning, to think without spiraling, to hope without pressure. This spaciousness is clarity expressed as freedom. It allows creativity, intuition, and wisdom to coexist without conflict. You may also notice that your tolerance for chaos has decreased, not because you are fragile, but because you are refined. You no longer normalize confusion or emotional noise. This is not judgment, it is self-respect. Archangel Michael honors this refinement and encourages you to protect it gently. There is reassurance here about consistency. You do not need to maintain heightened awareness at all times. Clarity does not disappear when you relax. It remains because it hath been integrated. Trust that even on days when you feel ordinary, alignment is still present beneath the surface. Before you move forward, stay with this message a little longer. What connects next will bring together everything you have been sensing in a way that feels deeply personal. Trust me, this next unfolding will resonate strongly with where you are right now, and you will be glad you allowed yourself to remain present for it. My precious soul, Archangel Michael now invites you into a quieter, deeper awareness, one that does not announce itself, yet shapes everything beneath the surface. What you are entering now is not a new lesson, but a confirmation. Confirmation that the clarity you have been receiving is real, stable, and rooted. You are no longer testing it. You are trusting it. There is a noticeable shift in how you relate to your inner world. Thoughts arise, but they no longer demand immediate attention. Emotions surface, but they no longer hijack your focus. You are learning how to hold space within yourself without being pulled apart by it. Michael wants you to understand that this inner spaciousness is a sign of spiritual maturity. You are no longer crowded inside your own mind. This phase carries a sense of quiet authority. You are less reactive to opinions, less influenced by external urgency, less tempted to explain yourself. Not because you are withdrawn, but because you are anchored. When clarity becomes embodied, it does not seek permission. It simply moves in alignment. Archangel Michael stands guard over this anchoring, ensuring it is not shaken by distraction or doubt. You may notice that your relationship with uncertainty has transformed even further. You are not just tolerating it now. You are respecting it. You understand that uncertainty is often the doorway through which wisdom enters. Instead of resisting the unknown, you remain present with it. This presence allows insight to arrive naturally, without force. There is also a deeper peace forming around your past, not because every question has been answered, but because you no longer need every answer. You trust that what mattered has already shaped you, and what did not has already fallen away. Michael reminds you that peace does not come from full understanding. It comes from full acceptance. Your intuition feels clearer now, not louder. It does not interrupt. It guides. You sense when something aligns without needing justification. You sense when something is off without needing evidence. This intuitive clarity is calm, not dramatic. That calmness is what makes it reliable. You may find that your standards have shifted quietly. You no longer negotiate with what disrupts your peace. You no longer overextend to maintain harmony. This is not rigidity, it is discernment. Archangel Michael affirms that discernment is love with boundaries. It protects what is sacred without closing the heart. Another sign of this stage is how you respond to pressure. When external demands increase, your inner world does not collapse. You slow down instead of speeding up. You prioritize clarity over urgency. This response is wisdom in action. Michael reassures you that pressure loses power when it is met with presence. There is also a growing sense of internal alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what you do. This alignment reduces inner conflict. Decisions no longer require intense debate because they arise from a unified place. When inner alignment is present, choices feel clean, even when they are difficult. You may notice moments of silence that feel meaningful rather than empty. In these moments, you are not waiting for something to happen. You are simply being. Archangel Michael often speaks through this kind of silence, not with words, but with clarity that settles gently into awareness. This stage also brings humility, not the kind that diminishes you, but the kind that keeps you open. You recognize that clarity is not an achievement, it is a relationship with truth, with awareness, with divine guidance. You remain teachable without being uncertain, confident without being closed. You are no longer measuring your progress by dramatic changes. You recognize growth in subtleties, in calmer reactions, in clearer boundaries, in gentler self-talk. These subtleties are not small. They are foundational. Michael wants you to honor them fully. As you continue listening, allow yourself to feel gratitude, not forced gratitude, but natural appreciation. Appreciation for how far you have come internally. Appreciation for the patience you practiced when answers were slow. Appreciation for the strength it took to reflect rather than react. This appreciation anchors clarity even deeper. You are nearing a point of completion, not an ending but a ceiling. A ceiling of understanding, reassurance, and trust. What comes next will not introduce something foreign. It will reveal how everything you have received fits together into a coherent whole. Remain present. Remain grounded. What is about to unfold will feel like recognition rather than revelation. And when it arrives, you will know, not because it is loud, but because it feels undeniably true. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now brings you to a moment of sealing. Not an ending, but a sacred completion. Everything you have felt, understood, and integrated has been preparing you for this realization. Clarity is no longer forming. It has formed. What remains now is embodiment with confidence and trust. You are not stepping into something unknown. You are stepping into alignment that hath been patiently built within you. There is a deep calm surrounding you now, and it is different from the calm you felt at the beginning. This calm is grounded. It is steady. It does not waver when questions arise, because it is no longer dependent on answers. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize this as spiritual maturity. You are no longer shaken by what you do not yet see, because you trust what you already know. You have learned how to pause without fear, how to reflect without judgment, and how to move forward without rushing. These are not small lessons. These are foundations that will support you in every season ahead. When life shifts again, and it will, you will not lose yourself inside the change. You will remain centered, guided, and aware. There is also a final reassurance here about your path. You do not need to compare it with anyone else's journey. Your timing is precise. Your pace is intentional. Archangel Michael affirms that what unfolds for you next will align naturally with who you have become, not who you used to be. That alignment will feel right, even if it challenges you to grow further. You may notice that your faith feels quieter now, but stronger. It does not demand signs constantly. It does not panic in silence. It rests in trust. This is not passive faith. It is confident faith. Michael stands beside you, reminding you that trust built through experience is unshakable. There is also a sense of readiness within you. Not urgency, not pressure, readiness. You are ready to respond when called, ready to wait when needed, ready to listen when guidance speaks softly. This readiness is clarity matured into wisdom. As this message completes, allow yourself to honor what has shifted. Honor the calm. Honor the patience. Honor the discernment. You are not the same person who began listening. Something has settled into place, and that settling will guide you long after this moment passes. Type "I walk in divine trust" in the comments if this message has aligned your spirit. Blessing code 1212 has now been activated over your life. And now hear this carefully. What Archangel Michael has delivered through this message is not meant to stop with you. There are countless souls still living in confusion, still rushing decisions out of fear, still praying quietly for reassurance they cannot explain. This message reaches them because people like you respond when alignment calls. I am speaking to you personally now. If this message has brought you peace, clarity, or confirmation, this is your moment to act prophetically. When you give through super thanks, channel membership, or PayPal donation, you are not supporting content. You are releasing light. Scripture declares that when you sow into good ground, the harvest multiplies beyond what you can see. Your seed becomes a voice for the unheard. It becomes reassurance for the weary. It becomes clarity for the searching. I speak blessing over every giver now. May your obedience open doors. May your generosity return to you pressed down and overflowing. And may divine guidance remain sharp in every decision you make. Do not delay this response. Obedience moves power. Act now. So now. The PayPal donation link is waiting in the description. Step forward and take your place in this divine assignment.